So last week something pretty amazing happened, and it's going to change this channel forever. So on the Wednesday, I think it was, I actually had a letter pushed through my letterbox, and this is, I don't know if you can see that is just my first name, obviously, because it was hand delivered, because what this actually contains is a full-time job contract to work in a new local game store in my area. It is going to be a Geek retreat, and it's going to be in Dudley. And what else was in this envelope, which is quite funny, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, is it also contained 3 copies of Aluba, the Jester of Despia from Ghost from the Past 2. Obviously, I could not be more excited about this. I've just received a job, like an employment contract, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh cards in one envelope. I literally had them on my dining table the whole day, and then as my mom was coming, like as my family were returning home, I was like pointing at them like, I've just received those together. I cannot believe I've got a job working with Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just so surreal to me. I still haven't like processed it properly, I don't think. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Alubas a little bit later. But the thing that's made me so excited about this job is that I've obviously been talking a lot with the new manager, who is Steve, and I've been like pitching some pretty like fantastical and almost like dreamland ideas, and he has shot down none of them. Like he's been absolutely supportive and encouraging of like every idea that I've had. So if there's anything that you want to see from a local, like from this local, just please let us know in the comments, and it will be. I've got a notepad that I bought, which is here, so I am actually going to be like writing everyone's ideas down, and hopefully I'm just going to try and cater to everyone for every reason, whether you're competitive, casual, whether you just like to play Mastered or whatever. I'm still going to try and support you in that way, and as is Steve, like for sure. Something else is that like I've obviously made a lot of like suggestions to do with tournaments. So the 3v3 that we wanted to do on like the channel, we're finally going to get around to doing that, hopefully. I actually asked him if he would be willing to host the 3v3 before I even applied for the job, and he was willing to like accommodate it then. So that's something that we're definitely going to look at hosting. I've mentioned charity events. He's absolutely, look, I suggested charity events to him, and I actually used like an example of like men's mental health as one, like as just an example, and he actually replied with, yeah, we could even run mind groups if that is what people wanted. I think that's absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see the stuff that we like achieve with this shop, to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to take you now to the Alubas that I mentioned earlier. So the reason why I wanted the Alubas was because I actually already started building tutorial decks. Now these ones specifically will mainly be catered to returning players, people that are familiar with like the meta through Mastered, and maybe even people that just want to try one of these decks out before they like consider buying it. But yeah, so like the whole idea why these 3 decks in particular is obviously because Despia is a very powerful fusion deck, so it shows off this mechanic quite well. Sword Sword is obviously a very good synchro archetype, without just being like a convoluted like combo deck, which is something that I really didn't want from either like any of these. Now I know that Tri Brigade is a little bit different to that, but you can also play Tri Brigade in like a very basic way as well. But the Tri Brigade deck is also pretty cool for showing off the XYZ mechanic as like a alongside Link mechanic. Now all 3 of these are going to play like some Link monsters, but Tri Brigade plays like by far the most, and they are more integral to the strategy. But yeah, so look, I've chose these ones look specifically just to show off the mechanics. I'm not going to confuse anyone with pendulums like immediately. We'll start teaching pendulums once the players have already learned to like the game, because they can be pretty intimidating to new players or returning players, I think. But yeah, so that's why I received the Alubas in the envelope, basically. So just a little bit of backstory for those of you who may not know. Dudley always used to have a Yu-Gi-Oh local. It has actually had 3 since before Geek. 3 that I know of since before Steve is now opening this Geek retreat. It has always been quite an active player base. And it used to hold quite a few accomplished players as well. I'm not going to name you all by name, but you know who you are. And Steve is in fact one of them. So yeah, I think it's going to like very cool to sort of like reignite this old local, which used to actually be a pretty cool place to play Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, that's it for just like this short video. Please do come to the grand opening. It is going to be on the 4th of June 2022, so it's just in a few weeks. I'll put all the details to Geek Retreat Dudley in the description below, and you've probably already seen some on the screen by now. But I'm going to give you like the address, the like telephone number, anything like that you could possibly need. That will be in there. So yeah, thank you for watching. And I hope to see a lot of you in the shop. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, take care.